there are many of our people who are thinking more deeply and more broadly, looking at it as it actually is, and are beginning to see it more in the international context and the relation that it has with the African struggle, a human rights struggle, or the struggle for human rights. And as such, we can then take it into the United Nations.
And bring about the freedom of these people by any means necessary.
Peace, everyone, and welcome to We Charge Colonialism. We Charge Colonialism, we're an organization of African people that are seeking complete and thorough liberation from the global capitalist system that has colonized African people everywhere where we are. If you are in America, you are colonized by that system. If you are in the continent of Africa, any of those countries, you are colonized by that system. If you are in any of the countries inside of the Caribbean, you are colonized by that system. So we are fighting this on a global scale. And because of that, we have to call out the system where it tries to stretch its tentacles to African people to further deplete us of our already fragile position that we are in. The National Basketball Association has decided to stretch its tentacles to another African population. We know that the National Basketball Association, the NBA, has had a monopoly on the talents of African people in America. They have used their talents to benefit the white European system. Do not be deceived into thinking that because you see individual players who become multi-millionaires, don't think that those people are representative of the overwhelming majority of people, first of all, in the NBA, and second of all, certainly not inside of the African community. We are overall a colonized people. We're all overall people who have no control of our economic destinies. Handouts are not power. Handouts are not control. Handouts are what they pay you to keep you doing what they need you to do, and what they are willing to pay you. If you are willing to be a symbol to other Africans who are deprived economically of being a self-sustaining people, if you can become a symbol to them of individual achievement and not collective achievement, they're willing to use that also against your people. So understand they have a lot of benefits in maintaining the power over the industries inside of the United States, maintaining that with the talents of African people, and they have made billions off of doing just that. Well, the National Basketball Association has decided that they want to go further. They want to go to the African continent. And unfortunately, because some of our people think representation is our goal, we want to be represented inside of sports. We want to be represented inside of the capitalist system that is not dominated or controlled by us. We want to have a piece of that where we are. Some of us will celebrate these things. Some of us will celebrate even when those industries are going to a continent that's already very much deprived and going to essentially come in there to enforce a class divide, a furtherance of the class divide that already exists between the bourgeoisie and the masses of the African people, who you may call the proletariat, but the overwhelmingly majority of people are poor. The overwhelming majority do not own property. The overwhelming majority are living on cents a day, a dollar a day if they're lucky, a couple dollars if they're lucky. And those are the people who they're going to go in and create a furtherance of the class divide. Do not be deceived to think that having an industry that's a multi-billion-dollar industry coming to Africa to take from you, that means that you are going to be in a better position. That is just colonialism as usual, and that's neocolonialism as usual. That's what we're going to talk about inside of this video. I'm now reading from an article by our brother Jamal from We Charge Colonialism on our website. The link will be inside of a pinned comment, and you can also look inside of our description for the link to our website. Africa is a continent of many great talents, fantastic scientists, educators, and more to come from the motherland. The football, in parentheses soccer, is primarily a sport in many African countries. Basketball has slowly developed over the past few decades. In May of 2021, famed rapper J. Cole signed a contract to play the Rwanda Patriots Club of the BAL. This brought attention to the league, a league that has former President Obama as an advisor. You can't make this stuff up, people. The president who was the neo-colonial puppet, who basically was the symbol of progress for African people that kept many of us, particularly in the United States, silent because we were afraid to challenge that symbol. That person is the advisor to the basketball Africa League. This brought great attention to the league. Hindsight shows that this is a win for Africa. But when you do your digging of the background, you slowly realize the same people who enslaved, the same people who colonized African people in the name of greed are the same ones benefiting from this league. BAL is a collaboration joint effort between the National Basketball Association and FIBA, neither which is Black owned. Though the face of the league is a Senegalese-born Amadou Gallo Fall as the president, sponsorships include Nike, ESPN, and Pepsi. The logo of the BAL is so eerily similar to the NBA's. Let's look up the definition of neocolonialism. Neocolonialism is the policy of a strong nation in seeking political, economic hegemony over an independent nation or extended geographical area without necessarily reducing the subordinate nation or area to the legal status of a colony. Although on the surface, the league is all African, European powers, the NBA, USA, FIBA, and Switzerland reap much of the benefits. This doesn't pertain to just sports either. Far too many institutions get away with this on the continent. In numerous ways in Africa, you will find supermarkets, restaurant chains, media publications with all Black staff, culture and names. However, its founders or CEO are often of European descent. Malcolm X broke this down beautifully in Ballot or the Bullet. He said, the man who is controlling the stores in your community is a man who doesn't look like we do. He's a man who doesn't even live in the community. So you and I, even when we try to spend our money on the block where we live in or the area where we live, we're spending it with a man who, when the sun goes down, takes the basket full of money into another part of town. Our people need power. We do not need inclusion. We do not need to be included into something that is white dominated. That's the takeaway that we have to have. Whenever African people become more consumed with power rather than the gains of white power, the piecemeal gifts that the white power structure might give you when you comply with them, but whenever we want real power for ourselves, that's when you're going to see a reversal of the situation. And until we are willing to confront that issue, confront the issue of control, confront the issue of why we do not control industries inside of our continent, why do we not control industries inside of our neighborhoods, why are we such a people for the taking, until we're really willing and ready to confront that issue, we're going to continue to be slaves. Do not think that slaves in the modern context is always going to be people on plantations. Slaves is when you are forced into a system where you have no means of providing for yourself except going to the oppressive system that enslaved you in the first place. That is where we are today. And the NBA or the African League, African Basketball League that they're trying to build is just a modern day example of that. So with that, I thank you all for watching. If you're interested in learning more about We Charge Colonialism, you can visit us at wechargecolonialism.org. And I will see you all in the next video.